Shalom and welcome to Jewels of Judaism. My name is Daniel Goldstein. Today is Thursday, May 12th, 2016, and it's also Israeli Independence Day. Today we remember that the state of Israel was born 68 years ago, or should I say reborn, reestablished. We as Jews lived in exile for nearly 2,000 years and came back to this land and officially reestablished the state of Israel in 1948 on May 14th. Now, the state of Israel is a testimony of who God is and of his faithfulness, because God prophesied that he would bring back the nation of Israel to this land and reestablish it, not because of our righteousness, but because of his namesake. And he has been faithful. And we and this nation are a testimony to who God is and to his faithfulness. It's this very subject of the testimony of God that I want to focus on in this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is found in Leviticus chapters 21 to 24. It's called Emor. And towards the end of this week's Torah portion, there is the command to keep the menorah, the golden lampstand, continually lit in the tabernacle. And I want to read just a few verses out of Leviticus chapter 24, verses 1 through 4. It says, "Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command the sons of Israel that they bring you clear oil of beaten olives for the light to make a lamp burn continually. Outside the veil of testimony in the tent of meeting, Aaron shall keep it in order from evening till morning before the Lord continually. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations. He shall keep the lamps in order of the pure gold lampstand before the Lord continually." So this is the command of the Lord to Moses and to Aaron as well, to keep the lampstand, the menorah, burning continually from evening till morning. Now God says continually 3 times here. It was very important for the priesthood to keep this lampstand burning continually. It was also a sign of God's presence in the tabernacle. Now, I want to point out something interesting in this text. Describing the location of the menorah, God said that it would be outside the veil of testimony. Now, why does God describe the location as outside the veil of testimony? Now, we know that the veil, the curtain, was something that separated the holy place from the Holy of Holies. But why does God here call it the veil of testimony? What is the testimony? Is the veil testifying to something? Well, we know that on the other side of the curtain, other side of the veil, there was the Ark of the Covenant. Now, the Ark of the Covenant was the house, was the storage unit for the 10 Commandments. And the 10 Commandments were these 2 tablets that Moses wrote down. God wrote the first ones. It says that Moses wrote the second ones. And God commanded Moses to put these 10 Commandments, the 2 tablets, inside the Ark of the Covenant. And with these words, God said, with these words of the 10 Commandments, which represented his law, God said he was making a covenant with the children of Israel. Now, God also called the 10 Commandments the testimony. So, as a result of the testimony being inside the Holy of Holies, the veil was also called the veil of the testimony, identifying the place of God's covenant, of his testimony. The Ark of the Covenant is also called the Ark of Testimony throughout the Torah. The tabernacle itself is actually even called the Mishkan Ha'edut, the tabernacle of testimony. So it's interesting that this word testimony, which represents the 10 Commandments, the law of God and the covenant between God and his people, infects or comes into the names of all the parts of the tabernacle, of the Ark of the Covenant, of the veil, of the tabernacle itself. Because it was through the covenant that God made with his people that he was establishing a testimony on this earth of who he was. The tabernacle itself was to be the dwelling place of God. And through his dwelling place within the camp of Israel, God was establishing a testimony. As the children of Israel lived out the covenant and they kept God's law. They were testifying to who he was. They were being a testimony of the God of heaven and earth. And so we see clearly why God would call the veil, where the menorah was placed in front of, to be called the veil of testimony. Now, it doesn't take too much imagination as well to see how this relates to us today. Whether you're a Jew or a Gentile, we who believe in God, and especially believe in his Messiah, are called to be a testimony in this world. We are called to be a light to the nations, and we are called to testify to who God is and to proclaim that Yeshua is the Messiah. Just as the tabernacle and the nation of Israel was a testimony to the world, we are to be a testimony to this world. So as we celebrate the 68th year of the nation of Israel being reestablished, and as we remember God's faithfulness to his word, let us be a testimony to who God is in this world. I want to thank you for watching today. If you've enjoyed this video, I encourage you to like it on YouTube. Feel free to share it with others. You can also read my full commentary on my website, jewelsofjudaism.com, under the title, The Testimony. So happy Independence Day from Israel, and Shabbat Shalom.